Welcome, Betty, and welcome to my studio.
Oh, I'm so pleased to be here. Welcome everyone to our first of our Apples and Art interviews. This is Claudette Pilon, and she's part of the Focus Art Group who is going to be featured at Altsville Hall foyer in St. Lawrence College during the tour. And I just am so happy to be here and looking at this remarkable display and art of art, Claudette. Tell me, what inspires you?
Most of the time, I take photos from my trips, but often I like to create and just start with nothing and just play with paint.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an example of playing with paint in this painting here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I wanted to tell you that while you have many beautiful pieces here, this was the one that I was really most drawn to immediately, and I think I can feel your playfulness in there. So, is this done specifically with a brush, or did you use other kinds of techniques to create it?
As I was playing, I used cloth, a piece of cloth, and I hardly used any brush in this painting. Maybe for the trees, but it was mostly just dabbing paint on the canvas and creating from nothing.
Yeah.
And you call this?
Non-objective art.
I like that term.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a gift somebody gave me the other day because people think of like traditional paintings and then they think of abstract, but I think for many of us it's not, we don't see when we're painting as abstract, it's more like something feeding us or
letting emerge a feeling or something from within.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that, and that's where I think people get really attracted to art, because it gets translated into the canvas and out into the viewer.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me, is there something specific that inspires you? I mean, I heard you saying about your creativity and taking photographs, but what keeps you painting?
Well, I don't paint on a regular basis, but when I feel like it, I just start early in the morning and I don't like to be disturbed. It's something that comes from a need from within, not something that I have to do. Mm-hmm. And I started painting over again in July, and I hadn't painted for almost a year, other than making special demands for Christmas last
mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
And what inspires me? It's the moment, what I feel at the moment.
I think that is such a great description, and I know for myself when I'm painting, it takes me to what I call that place of mindfulness. There's nothing else but that exists but the moment.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And a good thing I have my husband, because I need to cook sometimes. So,
so he reminds you that you better step into the kitchen and take care of some other duties. Now, you mentioned that you don't paint regularly, but when did you start painting? How many years ago now?
I really started painting in 2000. Before, I played with paint when I was thinking of my future. But in 2000, the year 2000, I did a creativity course in Montreal, session. Rather, it was a weekend. And that really took the fear out of me. And the fear, especially the fear of what other people would think of my paintings, what if I made a mistake or something. And I realized that I paint for myself and not for others.
That's the most important thing, and I think for anyone who might be watching this interview today, to encourage other people to get into art is to lose that fear. Like, if you really just show up and paint for yourself, and if you do that and it's from your heart and from your spirit, other people are going to respond to it anyway.
Most probably, but I think it's very therapeutic, because I like to draw, when I draw abstract, draw from my emotions. And one of my paintings is called Emotions, and it's a 3-dimension canvas.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
So I like to experience with it.
Yeah, and others will experience with you. And the other thing about taking the fear of it, when I returned to painting, like I did when I was younger and returned to it a few years ago, I took, like yourself, some courses, or I ate with Oboe Studios here in Cornwall. And Emily McLeod mentioned to me the idea of happy accidents. And I think what she was telling me is that with paint, there really is no such thing as a mistake. If it lands on the canvas, it's good. Now, I just want to ask you one additional question. I know this is an acrylic. Do you work with any other medium?
I work also with oil. I love playing with oil, but what I hate is cleaning the brushes.
Yeah.
But when my oil will be completely used up, I want to go back to acrylics.
Yeah.
Because it's so much easier to do it anywhere.
Yeah. And the other thing, because it's water-based and it's malleable, you can do all sorts of interesting things with it.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much for welcoming us into your gallery, your beautiful space here this morning. And for everyone, again, this is Claudette Pilon, and she will be with the Focus Art Group, featured at Altsville Hall foyer at St. Lawrence College during the Apples and Art Tour the last weekend of September. I think the exact dates are September 22nd and 24th and 25th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, you're welcome. A pleasure.
That's my pleasure.